Thank you, Dean, for that very warm introduction. Giving a former sailor a microphone in a room full of people is a very dangerous proposition. We tend to tell lies and stories, but I'll try to be well behaved. Thank you for this honor to speak, truly, especially since I'd much rather be in the audience listening to one of my classmates speak. You're truly an incredibly talented group of people. It's been an absolute pleasure to get to know you over the past 2 years. I'd especially like to acknowledge my international classmates. You traveled far from home to study here in Washington, D.C. It takes real courage to do that, and you remind us that we can't study business in the 21st century without a truly global perspective. My time at Kogod has certainly broadened my perspective. When I graduated from undergrad, I went to sea for 5 years, so I thought I was pretty well traveled, seen a few things, but this program truly took me to new places, both geographically and intellectually, from consulting for a Norwegian IT firm and doing business in Poland, to standing in the former prison cell of Nelson Mandela on Robben Island in South Africa, where he spent 27 years. From participating in a pitch for Amazon Headquarters 2, coming to Washington, D.C., hopefully, to working for Project 500, an innovative business development program helping diverse entrepreneurs here in the district. My most surprising classroom experience was taking Islamic finance with Professor Naqshbindi. Sir, your passion for teaching inspired the class to move beyond numbers and engage with the ethical implications of every transaction and their impact on the community. You truly are a credit to this university. At this point in my speech, I think I'm supposed to offer you some advice that's ordained by the commencement gods. But I really don't like giving advice. I learned in the military, people that were really excited to give you advice, you should probably watch out for them, because you don't want to listen to that. But there are exceptions, for sure, and one of my personal heroes is General Colin Powell. And he wrote a book called It Worked for Me. And I love that title, because you can tell he's not giving you his iron laws of leadership. He's saying, this worked for me, so maybe it'll work for you. What do you think? And that's what I'd like to tell you in this spirit. I'd like to tell you 2 things that have worked for me so far. And 1 is serve something greater than yourself. 2 is tell the truth. And I know that sounds a little cliche. I can see the 22-year-old version of myself rolling his eyes right now. But the older I get, the more I think those are the 2 most important beliefs that I have. You'll notice I said serve something, not someone. We spend a lot of time talking about someone here in Washington, D.C., be it our elected leaders or CEOs with bold visions. But I've found putting all your faith and all your hope in someone inevitably leads to disappointment. The world is too complex, and we humans are too flawed, even the best of us. So I've found it more useful to try to serve something. You'll have to define for yourself exactly what that thing is, not trying to make metaphysical claims for you here. It could be an idea, a set of principles, liberty, truth, justice, or at least the possibility of justice. These are by no means simple concepts, and you have to choose your own something and choose it very carefully. It can be very difficult to know what to do. But if you choose to serve something greater than yourself, you'll at least have a true north, something you can point yourself towards and stumble towards, however imperfectly. And it's worked for me so far. My second piece of advice is tell the truth, which seems pretty straightforward. None of our textbooks or case studies recommended dishonesty or fraud as a business strategy. But if you spent any time working, you know that this isn't always obvious. Speaking the truth, or even just asking why, can be a radical act in the professional world, because dishonesty can take many forms. Silence is one. Organizations can reward silence and going along to get along. Recent reporting in the Wall Street Journal discussed a culture of success theater at a Fortune 500 company. In this success theater, managers hid all bad news from the CEO because the CEO only wanted happy talk, positive news. I think if we're being honest, we can say that we've all been tempted to be actors in the success theater from time to time. But let's stop. As MBAs, we learned that to make the best business case, we need to question our assumptions, research the facts, and follow those facts wherever they might lead. We must be open to changing our minds and be humble enough to do so. If we all did more of this, who knows what kind of world we could build. Again, telling the truth has worked for me so far. In closing, again, I'd like to say thank you to the professors and to the staff at Kogod and to my fellow graduates. Enjoy this day, do right, do your best, and congratulations to the class of 2018. Thank you.